Do you find yourself sometimes really disappointed in your own performance, and you look around you and other people really seem to be achieving things and you're not? This video is going to give you 3 tips to boost your own performance. Hi, this is Rob O'Byrne from Supply Chain Secrets, and with me today is Paul Blackburn. Some of you watching probably know Paul. We've just been doing a session here at our Supply Chain Leaders Academy, and I should just introduce Paul. He's been a coach for decades to high performance sports teams, business teams, sales teams, absolute, I hate to use the word, but guru in terms of helping people develop their performance. And I managed to persuade Paul to share 3 tips on high performance. And if you stay till the end, we'll also give a link to some more material that Paul can share. So, Paul, if we went through a lot of stuff, but if we were going to say, what would be 3 things that people could do to actually improve their performance right now? What can we share?
Well, when you look at the mega data, which is massive piles of information that make links between things you would not normally link, the first thing that comes up is that the thing that blocks people the most is the way that they handle stress. Okay. So we live in a fairly stressful environment. Probably change is one of the key indicators, or one of the key reasons why we suffer from so much stress. Pretty much the experts are telling us we are the most stressed generation that's ever been on the planet. It's only more stressful for the ones following, and that's simply because we can get so much done. And because we can get so much done, because the technology allows us to do that, and we can do in half a day what it used to take our mother or our father an entire week to get done by the time you count.
So you're saying basically we're just trying to do too much?
We are doing too much. It's not so much that we're trying, because it's not really difficult. You can walk down the street doing your banking. That's not really that difficult, but it's getting stuff done, because then you go straight to your mail, and after that you check the weather, and you look at how your stocks and shares are performing, and you check out whatever else it is, whether it's the weather or something else. And so we get a lot done in an ordinary day, which is not inspiring, because doing the banking is just doing the banking. So no one ever said, I want to be the person who gets the banking done. It was just a job. So our days are full of stress-inducing events and things that we do because we can.
So I think we all relate to that.
Yep.
How do we de-stress?
All the high performers find a method, and there's no guaranteed method, right? But you have to find your own method for stilling the mind, and that meditation is one. Been around for thousands of years, proven itself. Mindfulness, been around for thousands of years, proven itself. Yoga. Any kind, for some people, gardening or fishing or whatever. By the time you get to gardening or fishing, it becomes a little bit impractical, because you can't just duck out from work for a little while. So that's why meditation and mindfulness are at the top of the list. These things are not going to make somebody relax today. What they do is that they build up a core of inner peacefulness, and that core of inner peacefulness.
Building the habit.
It's almost like a bank account. So what we have to do is you have to keep making deposits before you can withdraw any. But what it means is if you've made plenty of deposits in there, then what happens is some stressful event comes along, and you've got enough stillness inside, enough peacefulness to not be reactive about it, and not to buy into the drama, to see that it is drama that you can choose to take or leave, and therefore choose a response to, instead of having a reaction. And that means that peace and quiet and stillness lasts a lot longer during the day, which means you're effective for a lot more of the day. So you get a lot more done, simply because you took some time out in the beginning.
You made a really good point during your talk about de-stressing at the end of the day. And I guess I'm an example of exactly not what to do, because I get home, I have a gin and tonic, and like you're saying, that's it. Your backside is planted to the seat, and you ain't going to move. So I think that inspired me today. That like when I get home, I might have the gin and tonic later, but I'll get out and do some gardening. I'll get on the static bike for a bit. I'll go for a walk.
Anything.
And because you were saying that exercise and the meditation and so on really de-stresses, gets the cortisone out of the blood.
Yeah, there's a hormone called, it's actually called the stress hormone, called cortisol. It's the chemical that, it's both a chemical and a hormone, and it allows us to turn muscle into energy. So what happens is we can sit there actually degrading our bodies simply because it's quite toxic, and so it kind of caustic, so to speak, and so your body deteriorates as a consequence of this high level of cortisol. If you do what you say and come home and have the gin and tonic, it's going to be tomorrow midday before you get the cortisol out of your system. But a simple walk around the block, a simple walk the dog, bit of meditation.
Got to get another dog.
Get another dog.
Okay, that's the great one. So, so de-stress, number one. What would be the second
as an
one?
investment, by
As
the
an
way.
investment,
Yeah, remember the bank account thing.
Okay.
Second thing that I see makes the biggest difference in our practical work with our clients, in other words, what do we see most people respond to positively, is developing what we call a personal success routine. And some guy wrote a book called The Amazing Morning, forget his name, but essentially what it talks about is the idea that if you get up a bit earlier, and I'm not talking drastic amounts of time, but half an hour to an hour, then what that means is you can go and do the thing that creates peace and stillness inside of you, and gets your brain in the right state so that you're in the right mindset, so that when you tackle the day, you tackle it a whole lot better than if you just launched into the day. Like most people get out of bed and hurry off to do what they're going to do because there's a million things to do. So the sooner we get into it, then the sooner we're going to be able to tick things off our list, which creates more drama, which creates more stress, which we already mentioned. So personal success routine really, really works.
Great. Okay, so that's two. Number three.
Number three, there's a bit of argument about number three, but what I see the biggest results for our clients is finding a sense of purpose in what they're doing.
Okay.
So most people wonder why they're put on the planet. You know, am I here to do something special? And I think that's a bit of a kind of it's a bit of an issue, that one, because what if you don't find it until you're 70 or that kind of a thing? I think there's a much better way to look at it, and that's to find purpose in what you're doing, or to do what you're doing purposefully. So find where the meaning is in whatever it is that you're doing, and if that's reading to a 3-year-old, or to my mum who's 91, I sit and I read to her because she can't read anymore. There's purpose in that from the point of view of I'm creating something that I want to see for my mum. So you would say that's not a great purpose in life and doesn't really change the world, but it changes my world. And so having purpose in what you do, I'm doing this because it's going to contribute to something, it's going to make something better.
That's a great tip, because not only are you helping someone or a cause, but the reciprocity of that kind of gives you a great feel-good thing as well. So
some people find purpose in writing a book. So you know, the whole thing about that is the purpose comes from actually, well, I've got a message I want to get out to the world. People have to hear this. Writing a book that's just like a novel for entertainment, I don't know you would find a lot of purpose in. I'm not saying it's not a nice experience or that writers don't enjoy writing. What I'm saying is that if we can make what we're doing have a purpose for that half an hour or that 1 hour or that day, then we're going to end up living a purposeful life, which will be rich and rewarding and fulfilling.
Awesome. So three great tips. Let's just summarise. It was de-stress,
personal success routine in terms of get the day started before everyone else gets you, and finding purpose.
Have a purpose. And why don't we share a link below? So we'll put a link below to some other resources that people can get on your website. So I'm sorry we could only cover a little bit today on this video, but we just had a 90-minute session, which was really great, Paul. So now you remember, before you go, if you enjoy the content on the channel, hit the subscribe button. Do comment if there's any other stuff that you want to see on the channel. If you have any questions about this session, just comment below as well, and we'll see you next week.